Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes and this is the Frugal Life with Mercedes. Today we are going to talk about ramen noodles. Just hear me out, guys. So pretty much everybody knows what ramen noodles are. People usually love ramen noodles, hate ramen noodles. I know that when people see ramen noodles in somebody's shopping haul, all you see are comments of those are terrible for you. You obviously don't care about your health, the sodium, blah, 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 blah. Me personally, I love ramen noodles. Brandon and I, we go to an Asian market that sells specialty ramen noodles, like not the ones that you can get at like your local Walmart. This one is one of our favorites. It's a potato ramen. We also have another one. I don't think we have any of them, or I would have shown you guys that, but it's like a barbecue chicken one. It is so good. Now, why are we talking about ramen noodles? Because of the cost of everything. People are having to cut corners. Now I'm going to put these ramen noodles down. I don't want to hold them the whole time. So people are having to cut corners and grocery prices are insane right now. And they, in my opinion, they have been. But just so that you guys know, 53% of Americans are having such stress from the rise of grocery prices alone. 53% of people in this country. And that is not just people of a certain economic background. That is people spanning all different economic backgrounds. Because every time you go, it's just everything is higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And of course, guys, I know that's what happens with the economy, but that doesn't mean that we can't be upset about it. That doesn't mean we can't be frustrated about it. And at the end of the day, if you are on a fixed income or if you really just don't have the budget for the groceries to keep going up, then it is going to be a stress for you. And if it is stress for you, I see you and I get it. I do. Now, what are we going to do about it? I have made so many videos on how to save money on groceries. So hopefully you guys will go back and watch some of those videos and see how you can realistically save on groceries. But today we are going to talk about ramen noodles. I think they're underutilized. Now, there are some people that are going to be watching this video and they are literally eating ramen noodles to survive because that's all that their income will allow. And for that, I am sorry, guys. But for people that are kind of teetering on the edge, I would encourage you to start eating ramen noodles. If you incorporate ramen noodles or some other cheaper meal alternative into your weekly rotation, it will save you hundreds of dollars a month. And it is better to start doing that slowly than get to the point where you literally have to start eating ramen noodles out of necessity. So you want to start incorporating cheaper meals. None of us are too good for the ramen. I'm sorry, we're not. And I've discussed this before, and if you guys have watched my What I Eat videos, pretty much on a regular basis, I do have ramen noodles. The way that I make them is I boil the noodles and I drain most of the water out, so then it's just a little bit of water, and then I sprinkle some of the seasoning in, because if you do all the seasoning and you don't have the water, it's going to be way too salty. And we fry a couple of eggs and eat it with that so that you're getting protein, because ramen noodles have a lot of sodium, but they also are complex carbs that are not going to keep you full. But if you add eggs or some cut up ham or spam or leftover chicken, or even like leftover taco meat, whatever leftovers you have, and some veggies, it becomes a meal that will fill you for a fraction of the cost. If you do not like ramen noodles, you could totally do this with pancakes. You could do this with oatmeal. I feel like so many people sleep on oatmeal. Brandon and I love oatmeal. You can chop up some nuts, some berries. Fruit is expensive, but you can get some frozen fruit. That's always a good option. Canned fruit on oatmeal is always really good. And it really does stick with you and helps keep you full longer, especially if you are, for oatmeal specifically, especially if you're adding nuts. because nuts have a lot of fiber and protein in them. And that's the thing, guys, when you are trying to shrink your budget, you don't want to just get a bunch of complex carbs. So if you eat chips, they are not going to keep you full longer, and you're going to have to eat sooner, which in turn will cost you more. Versus if you take a meal and put the right amount of carbs and the right amount of protein and fiber. Protein and fiber is what fills you up. And a lot of people think that that has to be meat, but it doesn't have to be. It can be beans and legumes. There are a lot of vegetables that have a lot of fiber and protein. So there's lots of ways to do it. So I don't know how you guys are eating right now, but I would encourage you, if you are not already, that once or twice a week, you need to have a poor man's meal. Whether that be ramen noodles with eggs or some sort of, stir-fry vegetable thing with the ramen noodles as the base, or, big bowls of oatmeal with some nuts and berries, pancakes for dinner. And when I say pancakes for dinner, I don't mean with sausage links and this and this and this. I mean pancakes, the box kind that all you do is add water and maybe a couple of fried eggs on the side to give you that protein. I would say once or twice a week we need to be doing that. If you are already doing that and you are still struggling, you might have to up it a few days. And some of you aren't going to think that this is real advice, but it really is, because you're going to have to get creative. And don't be sleeping on the ramen noodles, guys. We eat ramen noodles, like I said, all the time. We always have them in the house. But adding the eggs to them, or the vegetables, or eggs, vegetables, and some meat, it really does become a meal, and it's at a fraction of the cost. So that's just another tip, guys. Don't be sleeping on the ramen noodles or the pancakes for dinner, things like that. It's not going to fix everybody's problems, but you have to come up with a way to keep your grocery budget either the same or somehow lower it, and be taking that money and putting into savings, or paying things off, or whatever it is that your financial goals are. Because I've talked about this before, something's got to give. Like, the economy is doing what it's going to do, but we have to be resilient, and we have to come up with a way to take care of ourselves and our families. And that's just some simple ways that you have to do it, okay? And there is nothing wrong with having to do that. And I hope that you guys got something out of this. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, bye.